G'day viewers, how you doing? We're here to have a first look and give you some impressions and give you my thoughts on the High Iron Simulations Santa Fe pack for Cajon Pass. Let's start with the Creators Club. Are they in the livery designer? Yes, they are. That's a good start. Okay, let's look at Formation Designer. Let's just add a new one. Call it New Formation 2, because why not? Formation Builder, add official. Okay, so let's do SD40. Is it there? No. Okay. What about the C48W? No. Okay, well, good. Unless it turns up here. But they're not C48Ws. What are they doing there? Anyway, no. That's fine then. Do I save the changes? No, I don't. Okay. What about Scenario Planner? Can we add a Scenario Planner on Cajon Pass? Create new. Yeah, whatever. Call it something. Come on, call it. No description. Come on, call it something. There you go. Confirm. Oh, it's not allowed. Fine. Add new service. Confirm. We want to add a train. Okay, the C48W is there. What about the SD40? No, that one's not there unless you can select it from here. No, I think it's only the training center one. All right, so the SD40 is not there. Good, perfect. Okay, let's have a look at the trains. Let's go into the rail journeys. Cajon Pass, and we've got a new one, Santa Fe all the way. And it's got 4 chapters in the book. So we've got Fast Freight, which has got a training scenario and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 services. And we've got Heavy Tonnage, which is the other loco, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 services. Local Freight with 2 scenarios and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 services. And Expect the Unexpected with 1, 2, 3 scenarios and 2 services. At least there's some unusual services. Okay, so we've seen the journey stuff. Let's choose a route and go to Cajon Pass. And if we can see our scenarios there, so they're the same ones. So we have got, if we come down here, the Cargill turn, which is the SD40. The Cushionberry turn with the SD40. Unexpected delays with the C48W. Last lap to San Boudou, C48W. And the Thorn Road switcher with the SD40. Let's pop back in there. Didn't quite mean to jump all the way out there. Training modules. Nothing. But there is some stuff in the training center for the C48W, but not the SD40. It's the Forgotten Child. Okay, so let's go back to choose a route. Cajon Pass. Timetable. Santa Fe in the 1990s is the new one, featuring the SD40 and the C48W. Now, I have to say, High Iron Simulations, well, they usually have a hero and a zero in their routes in Train Sim Classic. And that's carried forward into TSW because the C48W, pretty good. It's a hero. The SD40 is a zero, I'm sorry to say. For the first thing is, it shows here as the UP, and it's not till you collect it can you actually select the right one, the Cajon Pass one. So let's just dive in and have a look at this thing. We don't need to look at the route this time round because, you know, we've seen it before. So if you've got Cajon Pass, you know what you're getting into. Anybody that has looked at my tutorial on the SD40 already knows what I'm about to show you. This is where all the clowns erupt out of the clown car. Right, here we go. Okay, first things first, they made the airflow indicator work. Excellent. when you come into the train, the switches are set wrong. This engine run and control and fuel pump. If they're off, your diesel would not be running. The only one that should be off is the gen field. So this is a hangover from the fact that this is a copy of a really old train. Let me move this with my controller on the throttle. Oh dear, look at that. It's not actually compatible with Raildriver, which means it also doesn't work with the TSCX. Brilliant. Perfect. Okay. Oh, look at the glowing radio. Amazing. You can push the lights and they light up. I'm not sure if that's supposed to do that. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, let's put our gauge lights on. Let's put our headlights on. Let's do the horn. Let's get the windows open first so we can hear the horn properly. Good horn. Good horn. Bell's the same old bell that it's always had. Let's get our brakes cut into for rate and released. And set the MU28 to dead. Let's check our headlight setup because we're short hood lead, so it's that one. So it was in the wrong one. The train's not set up properly. What about our number lights? They could be on. Yes, they could. They are now. There is an alerter, but I haven't actually heard it. But here's its switch. You can turn it on. Great. Let's sit down now and drive the locomotive. Let's put her in forward. Let's go. She is the same old SD40. I think they've made her a little less powerful, to be honest. Feels that way. And if I come off the throttle now and go full on for the independent brake, knowing that all we are is 3 locomotives, that's not too bad. All right, let's come off the independent brake and let's throttle her up again. Let's get her up to about 20 mile an hour. So we'll do this by tearing the couplers off. That'll be fine, won't it? We are only 3 locomotives in this service. All right, let's throttle off and let's fully apply the train brake for a full service application. Look at it go! That is so slow. So slow. And we're still moving. Well, we're slowing down finally. There we go. We've done a full application. So she's a bit slow on the old train brake application front because that really, with a 60-pound application across all 3 locomotives, should have stopped us as quickly, if not quicker, than the independent brake applied just to this locomotive. All right, let's release the brakes. They are quite slow, but that's okay. This is actually relatively normal, to be honest. This is quite okay. You notice the airflow indicator actually works. That's magnificent. That's really good. And we're coming off those now. Good. Now let me show you the worst bit. Get them moving again. Smoke's nice. They've done well with the smoke. The livery's really good. I got to give them kudos for delivery. It's really nice. It's a bit dirty. It's not spotless, as they wouldn't be out here in the desert. Horn's pretty good. Oh yeah, look, hang on. No end of train device. I haven't found one on any of the services I've tried. So, let's do an emergency stop, shall we? There we go. It's dumped the air really fast, but it's taking forever to actually apply the brakes. That would have gone, what? And we, in 3 locomotives, yeah, we would have stopped quicker than this, but this is not too bad. Let's just throttle off now. Now we'll get to the problem bit. Let me go over here and reset this valve and pop back over to my chair here. Right, brakes are charging up. We can see there's tons of airflow going out to the back of the train. Perfect, lovely. Brakes are starting to come off. Lovely. Looking good so far. About ready to move again. Couple blasts on the horn, and let's apply some power. Oh. There isn't any. I haven't found a way around this. I've tried waiting. I've tried the hack that works with some of them, where you put it into suppression and go cut out, cut back in, and release. So we'll try and power again. Nothing. I've tried the other hack, which is put it into trail and lead again. Apply some power. Nothing. So, no. PCS valve's not open, and clearly the brakes have released because we're moving. So I don't know. I don't have an answer for this one. Just don't. So, the SD42, 0. Not hero. All right, let's go and jump in the other one, which fortunately is actually really good. We're going to go and get in the hero now. Now, I went to the 0 first deliberately because I want to leave you with a pleasant taste, not the taste of having just bitten a lemon in half. Right then, as we head back to the main menu, choose a route, Cajon bus timetable, Santa Fe in the 1990s, and let's choose the hero this time. Let's just bung off dynamic weather because we don't care. Okay. Ah, that one will do fine. Let's dive into this one. Just pick that one because it's the one it picked. Oh. First up, let's check if we've got an end of train device. Start. Do we have an end of train device? No. Do we have marker lamps set on our rear locomotives? No. All right, back up the front. Let's look at delivery. It is really nice. All right, they've gone to town on the war bonnet. I reckon they've done a really good job of it. In the shadows, it's almost black, which is really nice. In rainstorms, it's almost black, also really nice. The rest of the time, it's a really nice silver. It's a little hard to tell at this time of the day when the sun's just coming up, but it is a really nice silver. The rest of the delivery is pretty good. She is just the C48W, though. It is the same one from Sandy Patch grade. All right, let us cut our brake into freight and release. And yes, works with... Drop that one down to lead. Put our reverser into forwards. Let's, before we put our headlights on, let's just quickly come back here to the back panel and set it with short hood lead. And we'll turn on our alerter, which I've never heard. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. If it does sound, you can press Q and the other thing. Okay, reverser into forward. Horn. Did I open the window? I did open the window. Nice horn. Very nice horn. Switches are always correctly on. Let's just turn on our gauge lights. But the other switches are always on. If you happen to need them, they are down there. Engine run, gen field, and control. But they always seem to be on when you get in, so that's good. Let us then give us some stick. Oh, the airflow meter does actually work, by the way. And right now we're trying to rip our couplers off, but that's fine because we're going to skull drag a train that hasn't finished releasing the brakes yet. It does take a prototypically long time to release the brakes on a long train. I like that. Some players don't. Some players go, oh, my train won't move. Well, sorry, but that's because you're an idiot. But let's force her to move like you wouldn't. Good smoke. One thing I have noticed is all the locomotives in their consists do power and smoke, which is nice. So it is an appreciably nice horn. Everything just works in this. The dynamic brakes do what you think they should do. The train brakes do what you think they should do. I'm not even going to show you because they work quite well. They're pretty snappy. They work nicely. The windscreen wipers do things. The sun visors do things. I forgot to turn on banking comms. The locos on the back aren't doing anything. We don't have an end-of-train display because we don't have an end-of-train device. But apart from that, oh, and a disappearing helper. They just disappear from time to time. You look over there and they're gone. You look over there again and they're back. But anyway, that's fine, surely. But apart from that, pretty nice locomotive. Now, we will see some of the other stock that you actually get with this pack. So we get these trailer flat cars. We haven't had those before. Those are new. I better just start throttling off because we're going down rather a steep hill. And let's keep that in idle for a few seconds. And then pop her into dynamic setup. Now we've got our well wagons. I don't think these are new with the pack though. I think these are just your pretty standard well wagons. Maybe to get the dynamic brakes on. More of the trailer trains. So they're nice mixed consists. I'll give them that. It's kind of a pity the trailers are all white, but they are weathered nicely at least. I would have preferred to see some colour in my trailers. They're not the longest trains on the planet. They're not your 100-car jobbies. I don't know if all the services are like that or not, but the ones I have picked and played so far certainly aren't. If we head back down the front again, we're going to see a couple of SD40s, so we'll wait for those actually. We saw a couple up the front. These guys won't be doing anything because I forgot to turn on banking comm like an idiot, but that's okay. I'm okay with being an idiot. And that is in fact why they're not powering. So, see, banking comm does its thing. Alright, let's go back up the front. You can see how when you get into the shadows they get kind of dark and black. Really nice weathering on them. Now that the sun's coming out, we're going back to silver again, which is cool. They're quite nice. The only weird thing I found, that is green up there, isn't it? The only weird thing I found is if I hop into the cab, and of course you'd never do this. No. Oh look, my helper's disappeared. See what I mean? If I walk down here... Oh, I actually fit that time. I've bumped my head on that and actually been thrown off the train before. So, yeah, expect the unexpected. Looks like the dynamics are struggling just a little bit, which, you know, that's okay. They're kind of holding speed. We're going a little bit fast for dynamics to really work all that effectively, so that's okay. We can give them a bit more, of course. See if that slows us down. Put the loco in the red line. Nothing wrong with doing that. Oh, that's working. There's an awful lot of locomotives on this train, so it might actually slow you down from that speed. I don't know. It seems a little unrealistic, but when you compare it to the rest of the locomotive, it is quite good. All right, we're not here to show you what Cajon Pass looks like. Let's get out of here, go back to the main menu, and let's look and see what the services are, because we've looked at the scenarios. The scenarios look kind of cool, I have to admit. I haven't played any of them yet, but they look promising, so let's give them that. Let's go and look at the services for both the SD40 and the C48W Hero. Let's go back to Cajon Pass, timetable, Santa Fe. Let's look at the SD40 first. And these ones actually look fairly interesting. So there's switching, a bit more switching, helper set. So that's something new. We haven't really... I think there was one sandpatch service that did that. It was a helper. We've got some more switching. Operator switch job. Operator train from San Bernardino to the summit. So that's a big uphill grind. There's some helpers. Operate another train. So there's a fair bit of variety. Dropping helpers off at Victorville. some long things, some short things. There's rock extras, so ballast and the like. What else have we got? Light engine moves. There's turns. So these are local freights. Now I'm interested in these. I want to see what these are like, but I'm going to leave that till the preview stream to see what they're like. But promising, right? Turns. I like the idea of turns because they're local freights where you go out, you do stuff, and there's actually a purpose to them, I hope. Actually, let's have a look. Let's pick one up. Victorville turn part 1. Let's just, is that the turn? It is. Let's just start that up. We'll ignore the weather. Could be anything. Right. Let's just have a look. And go via, go via, go via. Couple. That's picking up some stuff. That's not really a turn. But, you know, it's part 1, local Barstow to Victorville, so yeah. I'd love to see some stuff going into, you know, actually going in and shunting around. Hopefully we'll get stuff like that. But the services for the SD40 look pretty okay. There's quite a lot of them, which is good. Let's just go back in there and have a look at those again. Come on, Speedy. You can do it. That's what happens when you've got all the DLC connected. Should get rid of some. Got too many. All right. SD40. Back in here again. Cajon Pass. So what is there? There's 1. So 2, 3, 4. I'm not using the service count because it doesn't seem to work too well in TSW anymore. It's a bit crap. There seems to be about, I'd go 80 services there, and they're ranging in durations from short things around the 10-minute mark to about the half-hour mark to the hour mark, and there's a couple of longer ones, and there's some that are broken up that would end up being very long. Let's look. We've finished with the Zero. Let's look at the hero, the C48W. So we've got, what, 1 screen, 2 screens, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens, so about 60-ish services. Again, I'm not using the service count because it just doesn't work that well. They range from about half an hour to about an hour. Are there any longer ones? Not spotting any really long ones. Oh, there's one that's over an hour. So they're broken up into parts. Now, for me, that's actually a nice thing to do, the different parts, because you don't have to sit here and run Cajon Pass for 3 bloody hours. You can run a portion of it and go and do something else. Or, if you want to run a really long one, go straight into the next part, return to free roam, dive in, off you go. Perfect. Really good stuff for those balance people that want a short but don't want to save and want a long run. Good stuff. So I think the service variety actually looks quite nice between these. I'm looking at manifests, looking at containers. It's nice to see the horsepower per ton in there. That's quite nice. That lets you know how much you've got to get over the hill. Quite like that. Probably also gives you a bit of an idea how heavy that train might be. So, yeah, there's quite a bit of variety in here. So I think, for the most part, let's see what the delivery looks like in the middle of the day. Let's go, you'll do. And go. And hopefully it won't go straight to rain or something stupid. Bring me to the demo gods. Okay, here we are. Let's have a look at delivery in this kind of light. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Very strong lighting on Cajon Pass in the middle of the day. This is one of the few routes that I actually don't mind TOD for. Actually, I'm only assuming it's been ported to TOD 4. Probably shouldn't assume that, should I? Maybe not. But anyway, I think that looks pretty nice. Nice grey silver. When they're fresh out, the silver on these things actually is silver, but It does very quickly fade. So the ones that you've seen in the videos and like. There's maybe a little too much contrast between the red and the silver on the dark side. On the light side, it is a very bright red. It does feel a little on the bright side, I guess, for me. A little on the bright side, and I do see that the Santa Fe is really clean too, whereas the rest of the Loco is weathered. There doesn't seem to be any weathering on most of the Santa Fe. And, you know, you can't argue that they wash it, because look, it's scrubby there. That's a bit low resolution, isn't it? Yes, it's a bit of a low resolution picture instead of building it up nicely. But anyway, so that's the Hero locomotive. This is the Zero in good light. So this is the blue and gold or blue and yellow Santa Fe livery with the grey trucks. I suppose there you can tell the difference between the grey and the silver truck, actually, if you look at that. I'm stuck on a pole. Excuse me, will I? Pole, let go. Right, good. So you can quite see the difference between the silver truck and the grey truck there. I think that's kind of cool, actually. Yeah, I think they've done well. The snowplows are decent. So, looks-wise, that's the same old SD40 as far as I can tell from Sandpatch. Doesn't do rail driver. It's buggered if you use the emergency brakes. Whereas the C48W, it is also from Sandpatch, but they have done some mods. It does seem to behave itself a little better. It definitely sounds better than the Sandpatch one, whereas I don't know that they've done anything with the sounds for the SD40. It sounds like it always did. So I think gameplay-wise, assuming everything works, it's going to be a pretty good pack, because it's not really expensive. If you've already got Cajon Pass, it's not too an expensive thing for you to go and pick up. And I'm sad to say it does have the tradition that High Iron have had in Train Sim Classic, where they have a Hero locomotive and a Zero. Well, the C48W is a Hero. I've quite enjoyed driving it. I've only been driving it, 25, 30 minutes. So, have I gone through everything? No. But it does seem pretty good. Sounds nice. Seems to work pretty well. The brakes are good enough. Yeah. Dynamic brakes are maybe a little too powerful. But apart from that, seems pretty good. This thing, on the other hand, well, on Sandpatch Grade, it's one of my favourite locomotives. On here, I've got to say I expected better. I didn't get it. This is the Zero. It drives, it runs. As long as you don't use the emergency brakes, you'll be okay. Even these have a weird workaround to get the emergency brakes to release. Go have a look at my tutorial. You'll see what I had to do. I could not get the emergency brakes to release on the SD40-2. Things like the PCS light don't come on either of them under emergency braking, and they should. They have fixed the airflow indicator gauges, the airflow movement gauges. Those both work in both locomotives. Appreciate that. Let's have a look at this train down the back. Do we have a end of train device? Wow, we actually do. Okay, this is the first one I've spawned that actually has got an end of train device. So, do we have it in the cab of the 840? No. Okay. What happens if we do it? Oop. Nothing. Oh, no, there it goes. Okay, they have implemented that. Good. Alright. So, I don't know if we'll be able to recover from that. But I don't care. It's fine. Let's just cut the brakes in and see if it does. Yep, it is. That's fine. So, C48W, Hero, SD40-2, Zero. I guess not bad to drive, but, don't trigger the emergency brakes or you'll be dead. The scenarios look promising. Haven't driven any of them, but they look promising. We don't need to say anything about the route, because, it's going past. We've had it before. We, don't care, for example, that things like this just stop out in the middle of the desert and don't go anywhere else. As they naturally do. Yes, without any kind of guy wire or anything. Oh, look at the lods on that pole. But, you know, it's Cajon Pass. It's been like that forever. So that's fine. I have not seen any indications of blurry liveries, but I generally don't. Okay, so until it comes out on the console, and there's an exception, the Richmond line, I get blurries in that all the time. But until it comes out in console, we're not going to really know about the liveries and what happens with those. So, it's not expensive for what you get. I reckon it's decent value. I think there's some work to be done on the SD40. Even the C48W needs a bit of work. They've got good horns. That's a good thing, isn't it? See, I think a good horn's important. They both sound good, and the dynamic brake sounds on the C48W are quite nice, I have to say, compared to the one from Sandpatch. So, you know, some good stuff's been done. Actually, no, I don't know if they've got suspension. Let's find out. Did I put it in forwards? Actually, I'm not sure. Might take a little while to get that load moving. And let's just sit here down on the front to see if it has suspension, because there's a set of points just up there, so we should see it go bok bok when it eventually moves. Let's just get it into skull drag mode. Who needs to worry about the brakes releasing? It's not important. Don't want it to go too fast or we won't actually see the suspension in action, so let's find out if it's got it, shall we? Just have a little bit of my 12-year-old cough medicine. Ah, that fixes the throat. Went to work today and a bloke had a bloody cold at work. I thought we'd gotten over having colds at work, but no. So I've already started coming down with it, because I get everything. Alright, back in skull drag mode. Will the suspension dip down as we go over the points? We'll know in just a moment whether we've got suspension or not. You'll notice that the engine throttles down on wheel slip. Nice. So as we cross the cross... Oh, hang on, we're on the wrong bloody side. Well, made it. It does have suspension, how about that? Okay. Question answered just in time. Smoke's pretty good from these most of the time. You do need the sun to highlight it, of course. They are a fairly clean burning locomotive. But in the low light times of the day, you can really see it. Yeah, maybe some headlights. The auxiliary lights, or the step lights, don't flash. Ditch lights, rather, don't flash when you blow the horn. I don't know if that's prototypical or not. I've always seen them flash. But, you know, maybe they don't. That's okay. So overall, it's cheap. Cheap and cheerful. You get what you pay for. You get one good locomotive, one not so good but still playable locomotive, and a bunch of stuff. There are a bunch of freight cars that come with this as well, but I can't show them to you right now because they're somewhere else. But that's okay, you've seen them in the articles anyway. So I think... would maybe wait for a sale. I reckon that's where I'd go. Wait for a sale, or wait for the bugs to be fixed. Unless you really love Santa Fe, and you want some new fun on Cajon Pass, grab it now, and put up with the bugs. It'll be fine, right? Sure. Here comes the competition. Union Pacific. Alrighty, I think I'll leave that here. That's enough, long enough. So, you know, get it if you want it. See you later. Bye. Oh yeah, bugs. Bye-bye. Got any questions? Chuck them down below. I'll see what I can do to help you out. All right. Have fun. See ya.
We played a game.